Welcome back to the SportsMax Zone. It was supposed to end with him retiring as a Raptor, but basketball doesn't always end with fairy tale stories. Neither is it written in the stars that when you return home, the fans will readily accept you. But that wasn't the case for Toronto Raptors franchise leader in assists, steals, three-pointers, and triple-doubles, Kyle Lowry. The six-time All-Star returned to the North for the first time in 2 years since his trade to Miami. The franchise where Lowry made his name and left as an NBA champion made him feel welcome and reflected on the years he spent with them.
26 years old, and I'm still young. Can't wait to get out here and show everybody what I can do.
How about that three? Look at Lowry with a little smile and a smirk. What does it feel like as an opening night in Canada?
It's great. It's great. Fans are great. Everybody's out here supporting us.
Kyle Lowry, you're going to have the great pleasure of seeing him wear that number 7 for years to come.
My one comment that I always make that I think is the highest compliment I give him is he plays harder than anybody I've ever seen.
Everything Kyle Lowry has gotten, he has made it. He has earned. He's what you want your point guards to be about. He's a winner. He has it as a leader.
Kyle Lowry, ladies and gentlemen, one of the greatest.
Starting at point guard from North Philly to your city, wearing number 7, Toronto makes some noise for Kyle Lowry.
Right, so despite all those glowing tributes from his former fans, Lowry didn't go easy on the Raptors. He led the Heat to a 114-109 win, and he had 16 points and 10 assists. The Eastern Conference leading Heat have now won 4 straight games.
It's an emotional night in Toronto as former Raptors great Kyle Lowry making his return, now a member of the Miami Heat, and boy, that Toronto crowd loves what he did in a Raptors uniform. Fred VanVleet crossing over and knocking down the three, and they're loving what that guy's doing in a Raptors uniform. Now Toronto up 23-12. Good ball movement. Markieff Morris finds Kyle Lowry, who pumps fakes and knocks down the three. Toronto's lead down to 6. VanVleet back the other way. Layup inside, up and over Lowry. He had 29 points and 7 assists. Toronto up by 10 at the break, but in the fourth quarter, here comes Kyle Lowry, finding Max Strus for the 3. That's cash. Then Tyler Hero drives and kicks it out to Lowry for the corner 3. That goes down. He had 16 points, 10 assists, 6 rebounds in his return. Miami by 2. Victor Oladipo looking good. He goes up and stuffs this one home. Then Oladipo pulls up, and this is rangy. Look at the depth on this 3. Knocks it down. 21 points on the game. Miami up by 6. Raptors hanging around with Pascal Siakam. Drives in for the layup plus the foul. He'd make the free throw. 29 points, 8 rebounds. It's a 6-point game. Tyler Hero driving in for the off-balance floater off glass. 18 points, 9 rebounds, 8 assists. Miami gets the win, 114-109.
There's something special about beating up the team that you used to play for.
Yeah. Except the fans came out to surprise him, you know, they were there cheering him on and whatnot. But yeah, impressive performance by Kyle Lowry. That's 16 points. I don't know why you laugh when you say that, though. Is it that you beat up a team that you used to play for?
Lance recognizes what's happening, but I'm surprised you aren't. But
I'll leave it there, George.
There you go. All right. So there's been.
So y'all have inside jokes now. I've been gone for 5 days.
There's been much talk about the Lakers not making the play-in competition, let alone the playoffs this season. But those who rely on us for information should also know that Brooklyn Nets with Kyrie Irving and Kevin Durant are currently flatlining in 10th spot over in the Eastern Conference. Now, if the season ended now, they would have to scrap with LaMelo Ball and the 9th-placed Charlotte Hornets for a shot at the playoffs. The winner of 9th versus 10th in the East then plays the loser of the clash between 7th and 8th for that final playoff spot from the East. This was not in the plan for the Nets at the start of the season.
Not at all. When we spoke about the Nets, we didn't once imagine them being in this position. You know, I think you took them to be a team
Yes,
to win.
yes.
I did the same as well because they looked extremely dominant on paper. But from the moment the season got ahead, we realized there were so many problems in this Nets team, George. So to say that we're surprised now, I feel like that's jumping ahead of ourselves because the moment, remember, there were a lot of issues between the team members. James Harden unhappy. Well, Katie clearly isn't a fan of James Harden anymore. So there was so much issues even with the COVID-19 situation. So to be in a position with a team that looked so strong on paper, a bit embarrassing, but the way how things went along throughout the season, I can't say I'm shocked that they're here.
What say you?
Yeah, they're below par given what they were setting out for, but I don't think if I was a Nets fan that I'd be giving up hope on them.
No.
I think the quality of the team and the fact that they have gears, which we aren't yet to see, suggests to me that I think the Nets could still win it all.
Yeah, look,
I know that there are a lot of things happening now that wouldn't support that.
But I feel like they're better now.
No, but it's not. The reality is not as bad as the headlines would suggest. Because if you break it down, the team was without Kyrie Irving for the majority of the campaign. That's fact. He's only now been able to play home games, so they've been helped by that. With the Harden situation, they weren't getting the best from him. So they were humbled. So without Kyrie, they weren't getting the best from James Harden. And then, this is the big thing now. Before he got injured, I think it was against the Jazz, up to that point, the Nets had played 36 games in the season without Kevin Durant being injured. With Kevin Durant, they had played 36 games up to the point where he got injured. In those 36 games, they went 24-12. So they won precisely 50% more games than they lost. They won 24 and lost 12, right? So that's where he left them at. When he went down injured, they played 21 more games. You want to know how many of those 21 games the Nets won without Kevin Durant? 5. They lost 16 of that 21 in that 21 game stretch, including 11 straight defeats. That's why they are finding themselves in this position, having to scrap to get into the play-in, to get into the playoffs. So it's a false position that they have. 10th in the Eastern Conference is a false position because of the extenuating circumstances which have contributed to this, notwithstanding James Harden's lack of effort, Kyrie Irving's COVID-enforced absence, and KD's absence due to injury. KD's back, plugged in. Kyrie's back, plugged in. He can play wherever on the earth he wants to play because of the change in the protocols in New York. So it is a team that is now ready to engage the gears that Lance says they have.
No, I have to agree with you because they are in a better position now that, the problems, I have to say, have sort of disappeared. James Harden clearly appeared to be a problem.
He's disappeared.
So he's disappeared.
Your ex.
We don't speak about our exes. Hello.
Yes. Brutal.
Back to my point, the COVID-19 issue, where Kyrie was missing for a lot of games. That too has gone away. So I'm with both of you in the sense that I wouldn't underestimate them now. I think they're stronger now than they started at the top of the season.
Don't forget also that although he's been ruled out of the playing matches, Ben Simmons is going to add something to them when he gets fit and is able to contribute. With Kyrie and KD fit, remember they weren't fit and available when Giannis beat them and stomped them out on their way to the title. It was KD alone. KD and Kyrie together in this Nets team, they can take them to the promised land. KD and Kyrie with Ben Simmons making a contribution, the Nets are suddenly different kettle of fish.
And we have to remember that the Bucks, I think, were number 7 in the regular season last year and then went on to win the whole thing. So, don't be misled by what you're seeing sometimes in the regular season.
Although cause for people to fret again, KD had a career night, 55 points against the Hawks. They still lost, but don't worry about that. It'll all work itself out.
Playoffs is when we
It'll all work itself out. Before we leave, scores from the games played on Sunday. Celtics winning, Mavs winning, Nuggets, Pistons, Lakers losing again, Pistons winning, 76ers winning, Knicks winning, Thunder winning, Spurs winning. The Spurs are battling for the playing spot in the Western Conference where the Lakers are also up against it. Timberwolves winning, the Warriors, they want to clinch their playoff spot, and the Clippers too strong for the Pelicans.
Keep watching SportsMax on YouTube for live and exciting sports, Subscribe to SportsMax on cable and download the SportsMax app to watch anytime, anywhere.